Well, well, well. If you saw today's Nintendo Direct for the Switch 2, you were undoubtedly unimpressed with at least one part of it. Somehow, Nintendo has found a way to not only beat the Switch 1 presentation for when that console was about to come out a few months prior, but blasted that out of the water. Now, before I go into a real quick analysis, which won't end up being very real quick like it usually does when I do analyses on Nintendo Directs, because of how freaking jam-packed this hour worth of a Nintendo Direct was. Before I go into any of that, I want to talk about the very few blemishes for this Direct. Starting with, it was very laggy and the voices were kind of behind a little bit for a lot of the live stream. Also, there was a point in the Direct itself when it completely froze on when they were talking about the third-party support. It froze on a random game for everyone for some reason. And the third blemish will be brought up when it gets brought up because it's part of a game announcement, and I do not want to spoil any of this. So, without further ado, hello everybody, welcome back to the Backlogs channel. I'm gonna go over the Nintendo Direct for the Nintendo Switch 2 as quickly as possible, because it's gonna take a long time. Now, we started off the trailer with a trailer for Mario Kart World. You heard me. My prediction was wrong. I said it was going to be Mario Kart X. I was wrong. I was right with the idea that it wasn't going to be numbered, but I was wrong with the exact name. It is called Mario Kart World, and it's called that for a reason. We don't fully know a lot about the game yet, but we do know enough to get very hype over it. Now, this is a blemish in what seems to be a perfect announcement for the Nintendo Switch 2 and all of its software and hardware. Mario Kart, I keep wanting to call it Mario Kart Home Circuit or Mario Kart Tour or Mario Kart 8. I gotta get used to this new name. Mario Kart World is going to be $80 physical. Now, this is a hard pill to swallow, but I will not go too in depth right now because I have another video planned to be filmed right after this one for the Backlogs channel, so stay tuned for that one where I talk about all the pricing issues that are going on at the moment and all the false rumors and all that stuff. But overall, Mario Kart World looks amazing. It looks like the next step for Mario Kart times 5. It looks like instead of one new gimmick, as in adding anti-gravity, adding paragliders, adding bikes, the last 3 main Mario Kart games, there's like a million new gimmicks in this one, and it really does look like the biggest, most ambitious Mario Kart to date. But we'll only have to see April 17th is when the Direct for Mario Kart World is going to come out. So we'll have to wait and see what the game is fully about by then. Next up, we got the C button. We were shown what the C button does in a little trailer for it. It's voice chat. It stands for chat. So, the Switch 2 now has integrated voice chat, including screen sharing, and it's going to also include a new accessory that can be bought separately for the Switch 2 day one called the Nintendo Switch 2 camera that you plug into the top USB-C port. As I thought the USB-C port on the top was going to be used for more than just charging. I was right. don't want to pat myself on the back too much, but I did get that right, and I said it with confidence fully. Anyways, this camera is basically going to be a face cam for your screen sharing, or it could be just be a normal face cam. But another feature that this is going to be used for is some exclusive games will be able to use camera footage of you in the game, and mic support in these games. So those are 2 new gimmicks right off the bat, and unexpected ones at that. I did not think that we'd get voice chat. I did not think we were going to get a built-in mic or a buyable extra accessory camera for voice chat, for voice chat and games. Some exclusive gimmicks in games. But moving along, we got Game Share, which is the same idea as Nintendo DS SharePlay, maybe it was called, where one person has a copy of a video game, and any console, Switch 1 I assume, can also be played for any Switch 1 games from the Switch 2. But in general, it's going to be Switch 2s, so one person owns a video game, and anyone locally can connect to their game and play with them without having the game themselves. This will be called Game Share. It's a lot more consumer friendly, and yeah. Next up, we got some specs for the console, starting with handheld mode first. We got 1080p for the basic in-hand handheld 120 FPS mode. Oh my gosh. I can't believe this. 120 FPS. We're working in New Day. 120 FPS. That is incredible. Moving along, we also get HDR for handheld and docked mode. We have some mouse controls that were shown off. Again, we already kind of knew this. It was my free spot on my bingo card. If you watch the video of my reaction where I crossed it off, and I was like, I knew it was going to be in here. This is why it was my free spot straight in the middle of my bingo card. Yep, we knew mouse controls were going to work. We did not know about the gyro / mouse controls, but that had not came up on the Direct yet, so we'll talk about that when it comes up. Moving along, 256 gigabytes built into the console itself, 4K, 120 FPS, in docked mode. This is on the level of a PS5 plain model, an Xbox Series X basic model. Guys, I don't think you understand how big it is for Nintendo to leap into new generational graphics. We are not even a generation behind anymore. We are with the generation of consoles that are alive today. This has not existed in Nintendo products since the GameCube in 2001. It has taken us 24 years to catch back up to industry standard. And now, I'm welcoming it, especially considering it will be cheaper than the competition. Nintendo has won. But moving along, we'll talk about that a little bit later when it comes up. Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour paid digital game. So, Nintendo shows off the Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour, which is a tech demo. It is a tech demo to show you how the Switch 2 works and give you facts about how the Switch 2 is run. Yet, it is a paid digital game. This is a big blunder, I think, on Nintendo's part, and it should be fixed, but it won't be. It should have been a pack-in title, but what can you do? It's whatever. It's fine. It's okay. Whatever. Just no one's gonna buy it if it's only more than $10, which it probably will be. It'll probably be like 30 or 40 or something crazy. And this is where mouse plus gyro is going to be showed off for the first time ever. So, the Switch 2 is going to have mouse control and their Joy-Cons, but not only that, they are also going to have gyro on top of it, so you can move up and down, left to right, stationary with your Joy-Con, but if you twist your Joy-Con while moving, it will twist the item in the game. So it is a gyro mouse. I have not seen any examples of anything like this happening at all for anything else, any other console, any other PC. So this is a Switch 2 exclusive thing that I think could very easily be used for a lot of good things. Next up, Nintendo shows off the Switch 2 game carts, and they are going to be practically an exact copy of the Switch 1s, except they will be red. Moving along, there's not a lot to say there. Micro SD express cards are going to be the only SD cards you can use on this console. Considering we're running at 4K and 120 frames in some instances, it makes sense we need faster processing SD cards for the games to process as they're moving. So, this had to be done. It wasn't something they wanted to do, it's something they had to do. Next, they showed off what the Switch 2 Pro controller is going to be. It's going to, the two main changes to it, or I guess additions to it, are going to be the extra 2 paddle buttons on the back, programmable buttons, and an audio jack on the bottom. So basically just the Pro controller for the Switch 1 with improved everything, basically. Everything's improved. And it has a really nice white accent finish to it, so that also looks very nice. Next up, they showed the release date for this console, and it is very soon. It's before my birthday even. June 5th, 2025 is the release date for this console. And I'm getting it launch day. I will unbox it. I don't know if I'll do that on the main channel or the Backlogs channel. We'll just have to wait and see. But I am going to go midnight release, buy it, buy a few of the accessories, buy some games, obviously buy a Switch Pro controller, the new one, and I will unbox all of it as much as I can on a video all at once, and I'll release it as soon as possible. And I will be playing the absolute living shit out of games on here. Next up, we got an announcement for something that hadn't been shown before. There's going to be 3 types of games on the Nintendo Switch 2. Obviously, there's going to be native NS2 games. Also, there's going to be cross-gen NS1 games, so Nintendo Switch 1 games. And on top of that, there's going to be Switch 2 Edition games. Now, what does that mean? Nintendo Switch 2 Edition games. A good example to bring up is something that was shown as an example right after in the Direct. Mario Party Jamboree plus Jamboree TV. So, Switch 2 Edition games are going to be games that are brought over to the console, get their own physical copies, or you could get the expansion pack if you already have the Switch 1 version of the game. And it will come over, look better, it will run very smoothly on this new hardware, but also be costly because they're adding new content to old games from the Switch 1. So imagine ports that add new content. Think of the same veins of Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. It's exactly that. It's going to have new features in it that weren't in the original Switch 1 piece of software, I guess, actually. And yeah, that'll make it worth more money. Moving along, there will also be Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom Switch 2 editions. There will be Kirby and the Forgotten Land plus Star-Crossed World. And Prime 4 and Pokemon ZA are going to be cross-gen, also known as they will have their own Switch 2 editions, which just means they're coming day in, day out with the Switch 1 editions as cross-gen games. No more or no less content than the Switch 1. It's just going to be also on the Switch 2 as well. Now, a little thing that I skipped over real quick that I'd like to talk about because it was very interesting and unique, something I've never seen before. Zelda Notes. This was shown off right after they showed off the Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom Switch 2 editions, and it will be a free addition to the Nintendo Switch Online app for just these games, and it will work as a in-game on your phone connected GPS that shows you the nearest Koroks and nearest shrines and nearest items in the game that you were looking for. It will speak to you as if you're driving down your local highway and you gotta turn left in 3.9 miles. That is how this is gonna work. I've never seen anything like it, but I'm very hype. I think it's gonna be really cool how it's gonna work. And yeah. Moving along, we got a new gimmick game for the console to show off the new mouse control gimmick of the console again. It's called Drag X Drive, which looks a bit bland, a bit boring, but what can you do? This game is going to show off dual mice, the first ever dual mice controls in gaming, and yeah, that's about it. That's all there really is to say about it. It's a paraplegic robots in wheelchairs playing basketball, and that's it. You can trick off ramps to do dunks. It looks very VR chat-ish. Yeah, that's all there is to really say about that. Now, at this point, I was really hyped, and the Switch 2 Direct was living up to everything it needed to be up to this point. At this point, we start to look at third-party developers showing off their games for this console, and this is where all hell breaks loose. Every developer you can think of shows off a game in this Direct, and I will now quickly and try to effectively list off the important ones. I won't talk about all of them because I don't frankly care about most. I wouldn't say most of them. I'll say maybe 20 to maybe 25%. I do not care. The rest, oh boy, you know I care. And we started off strong, exactly how I thought they were going to do it, with Elden Ring, day one of the Switch 2. Now, this is going to be one of those games that I was never going to play. It was a huge game, and won Game of the Year award. And guess what? Some of you might not know this fact, but Elden Ring was originally thought up as an idea by the fans of Breath of the Wild. Elden Ring is inspired by a Switch 1 game, and now Elden Ring is being brought to Switch 2 day one as a full circle moment. This is one of those moments in gaming you just can't make it up. It's a beautiful story, and it's great to live in this generation and time frame where Nintendo's loved by all. Except the few creeps in the corner that are like, I just wanted to see Silksong. But most people that were watching this Direct anyways, were not here for that. Anyways, moving on from Elden Ring, looks beautiful by the way. We got Street Fighter 6, which most people didn't even think about the idea of that coming to the console. It's just the newest Street Fighter. Yeah, sure, cool. It's also going to have Amiibo support, which is sick. It seemed like it's going to have Amiibo cards. I don't know what they'll do, but I guess we'll have to see. This was a big one. This next reveal was a big one for me. I would say close to one of the biggest third-party reveals. EA and 2K Sports are making a return to Nintendo consoles. Now, most of you might be like, Brayden, you don't care about sports in video games? You don't even play sports in real life anymore. You barely play sports, you barely watch sports, you barely play video game sports. Why do you care about sports coming back to Nintendo consoles? I'll tell you why. Madden always coexisted. FIFA always coexisted. 2K always pre-existed on Nintendo consoles. The Nintendo Wii. And moving into the Nintendo Wii U, they did as well. Until they realized the Wii U was a flop. And EA, going into the Switch 1, was so unconfident in the fact that it would be popular, and they did not want a sinking ship again. They did not want to deal with that discourse, and then they missed out on one of the biggest consoles of all time because of this. Now they have learned their lesson, and 3 generations later, they are finally bringing back sports games to the public for Nintendo consoles, which really, in my mind, proved a point that Nintendo Switch 2 is trying and succeeding successfully to be in this generation. Catch up to the times, not be behind, not only have exclusives, but be a console that can play third party and exclusive, the best exclusive first parties, reclaiming their throne as the best game console there is on the market. Moving on from that, my little tangent, we got Hogwarts Legacy, and we just got a Switch 1 version of Hogwarts Legacy, so it'll be interesting to really see the big difference of Switch 1 versus Switch 2 in graphics and performance. It's also coming day 1, and I just finished the entire Harry Potter series actually, so it is cool to see this. I will play it, day 1. I will play it alongside my Elden Ring and my Mario Kart, thank you very much. Moving along, we got Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3+4. There's not a lot to say for this, it's just kind of crazy that Tony Hawk games are still existing, and they're still hype as balls. And a little thing I just wanted to point out, at the end there was a little SpongeBob teaser for like a SpongeBob map you can skate around on. Now, moving forward, I'm gonna go pretty quick with the rest of the third-party support. We got Hitman 2. It's a Hitman game. They're pretty high quality, I would say, games, resolution at least. It's on the Switch too. It looks pretty good too. There we go. There's also a new James Bond that got revealed. This game was in the public's conscious, but not shown off in any way so far. So this was a cool little announcement. It's coming to the Switch 2 as well. And the final announcement that at least mattered was Yakuza 0. Now this game is Yakuza. It's a very good looking Japanese game. And again, I'm very excited to play it. Next up, moving on from the third parties for at least the moment, a new Hyrule Warriors called Age of Imprisonment is now being developed and looks pretty goodly finished up. It just needs polishing, I assume. I think it said it was coming out like 2 months, maybe a month after the Switch 2 comes out or something like that. Pretty close to the launch. And yeah, it looks really good. It's following the same story of Tears of the Kingdom when Zelda goes back in time and does all that stuff. And next, I would say the most hype I was watching the Switch 2 Direct. GameCube games coming to the Nintendo Switch Online. I thought it'd never be done. But successfully, Nintendo has brought order and brought us GameCube support. And it's going to start with Wind Waker, Soul Calibur 2, and F-Zero GX. Which is a perfect lineup of just 3 games. Beautiful, beautiful GameCube games with a lot more promise to come in the future, including Super Mario Sunshine, Chibi Robo, Path of Radiance, Pokemon Colosseum, so many good games that are going to be coming to this. And I cannot believe it. I really thought forever that Nintendo was just going to repackage their games and sell them to us full price. Now that this isn't the case, this opens so many doors. Because I'd like to argue GameCube games are just as much portable as Wii games. So what is now stopping Wii games from being ported over in NSO form? Same with DS. I really thought DS was going to be shown off, and it will, mark my words, it will come out at some point in the Switch 2's lifespan. Same with 3DS, to be honest. Same with Wii U. You know what? What's even the limit? What's even the limit on this? This is a topic I'm going to talk a little bit more about separately in another Backlogs video. But just know, this was my most hype moment of the Switch 2 Direct. By far. And I cannot wait to play Wind Waker on my new Switch 2. Also, a GameCube Nintendo Switch Online controller is being made for it as well. It's gonna have the chat button, it's gonna have the home button, the capture button, all that stuff on it. Now, moving along, back into the third-party games. I guess I wanted to take a little break in between, show us some things, and then go right back into it. Also, one of my biggest hype moments for the Switch 2 Direct. Deltarune Chapter 3 and 4 gets revealed. Now, I cannot say how happy I was, because you guys didn't see it. I was not live streaming it. But I flipped out. I absolutely flipped out the moment I saw that dog come towards my screen. I was like, wow, I can't believe this moment is happening. I cannot believe it. And I will talk about this in another video. Do not worry, another Backlogs video. It will be coming soon, so I don't want to talk about it too much here. Moving along, we got Borderlands 2. Good to know that it's coming to the console, I guess. And Cyberpunk 2077. Now, this game is known, almost joked about, that it will never come to a Nintendo console for as long as it's a popular, known thing. And look at this, Nintendo beating the stereotypes, finally laughing in their face. Moving along, Final Fantasy VII Remake. That was a pretty obvious thing that was going to happen, it's just really good to see it. And something really interesting, again I'll talk about this probably in the same video as Deltarune, Silksong got a soft date reveal. And many fans are happy about this. I don't care, but you know, I know the struggle of Silksong fans. I've been there. I was waiting for Metroid Prime 4 to come out for years. 8 to be exact. So I know how it feels, and I'm very happy for them. And you know, not even a trailer or anything, they just soft dropped the date. Just like that. Like it was nothing. Moving along, we got 3 more big things that the Switch 2 Direct did. They showed off a new exclusive Switch 2 game by Software Games called Dusk Bloods. Most people thought this was going to be another game. That was not the case. It is a new exclusive by the company Software. And yeah, not a lot to say there, honestly. The trailer bored me because it was so long, but other people are saying it's good, so I'm not going to fight with other people. They must know what they're talking about. And then we got the release, the release trailer for Kirby Air Riders, which is the Sakurai game that was shown off for this Direct. I almost think it's a rule of thumb, any big Nintendo Direct has to have Sakurai somewhere in it. Whether it's Smash, whether it's Kirby, whether it's Kirby Air Rides, whether it's freaking Kid Icarus Uprising. There's gotta be Sakurai everywhere. He's a genius man. They love him at Nintendo, and we love him at home. That sounded weird. Anyways, we love Sakurai, and he's making a new Kirby Air Riders, and it looks amazing. And it's coming out this year. Guys, you know how many times I was getting used to the Switch 1 saying games were going to come out, like giving us reveal trailers, and saying they were going to come out for 2 to 3 more years? Now we got all these games coming out 2 to 3 months from now, if not by the end of the year. This is a glorious day to be a Nintendo fan. And moving along to the final announcement that I thought was going to be a 3D Mario, but ooh, was I wrong in all the right ways. Going through the trailer, eventually you see Donkey Kong's face smashed through with the new visual and the completely new world building, new enemy building, new character building, new Donkey Kong. It all looks so good. It all looks so polished and so perfect for this console. It's exactly how Donkey Kong was meant to be when he was made, and he's finally going back to his roots. And that was a perfect ending to a perfect 1 million out of 10 Nintendo Direct. Best to the date of April 2nd of all time. And with that, that's about it. The Nintendo Switch 2 Direct was perfect, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Now, all we have to do is sit and wait. And until then, I'll see you guys in the next Backlogs video. Bye bye.